Good evening. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach driver's education. We're going to talk about driving in a school zone. I teach teens and adults. So we're going to be leaving a parking lot, and I'm going to show you a lot of the common hazards and dangerous areas that you're going to encounter. So both of my hands are on the wheel. I'm going to roll down in this parking spot. You got to look left and right for cars. People don't stop, so you're going to see me roll down really easily. This is an outside view today, so I'm going to roll down very slow and cut my wheels to the left, as you can see. And cars making turns need to yield. For cars going straight, as you saw, that car almost wanted to hit me. So I'm scanning left and right, watching for kids, watching for parents coming in. You got to be really careful. School zones are extremely dangerous, plus it's raining. So I'm going to stop behind the stop line. I see the two pedestrians to the right. I've stopped, and then I'm going to move forward. I'm looking, checking, and I have a gap in the first lane. I'm going to turn into the nearest lane. You hear the car picking up, accelerating. You want to get up to speed, but the speed limit is 40. So I'm going to take my time and be nice and smooth. I want you to use this as information to help you as a beginning driver. I'm squeezing my brakes really easily because there's a lot of water in the road and it will build up on your brake pads. You won't be able to stop as smoothly as you need to. I'm coasting. My foot is not on the gas pedal. There's been a lot of controversy about this, and I will, be giving you information along the way. So my right turn signal's up, which you can hear, and I'm squeezing my brakes. I want to see the rear of the tire. I stop behind the stop line. On your test, if you don't, you will get deductions. I'm going to go up and check traffic. I'm looking over my left shoulder, and then I turn into the nearest lane. Some of the hazards you're going to see are people coming out of these private driveways. They have to yield to us, but a lot of times they'll just pull out right in front of us. So I'm just taking my time, having good speed control, looking ahead as far as possible. The light's yellow. I'm coasting, lifting my foot off the gas. I'm a state certified instructor. I have no problem with coasting, but I also like to see my students cover the brake. And we're about 300 feet away, and I'm squeezing my brake. If you slam it like a beginning drivers do, you'll lunge forward and get a deduction. They're stopped behind the stop line, so I'm going to stop behind the stop line. You also want to make sure your wipers are in good shape. I see that car is stopped. Looking, checking mirrors. I like to see my beginning drivers check the mirror every 12 to 15 seconds. You saw how the car just popped up like that? That's very scary. And there's a pedestrian to the left just walking across. This is a really good opportunity here. You're going to see a weave lane, and they are definitely very scary. So I'm turning on my blinker because I need to get over to the right. I looked over my shoulder. You're going to see the car slow down. I'm squeezing my brakes, and I'm going into this clover leaf, and it's definitely a tight turn. So I'm looking around the curve. If you go over the yellow, you'll get a deduction. If you cross the white, you'll get a deduction too. And this is a really tight turn. I have a yield. A yield becomes the stop if there are cars in your area. I'm clear. I'm turning on my left turn signal. I have to get over one lane. You hear that motor picking up, and I'm right in that first lane. Speed control is really nice. Pretty nice merge. I also like to see my students get into one of the two middle lanes, but we're fine for now. I tell them to keep space. I call it speed, space, and smile. So I want to make sure you have good speed, nice space, and a smile. I see the blinking yellow ahead, so I'm maintaining speed. I'm coasting again. Trying to be mindful of the weather out here. And I want to see my students get up to a nice consistent speed and stay smooth. I see the green light, so I'm telling you what you should see. That was a pretty good lane change for them, although they're near the light. I have my windshield wipers on low. They could have easily have gotten behind me, but a lot of people do not want to get behind student drivers. So I'm maintaining good speed. You can see the grooves ahead of us when you're driving. Try to drive in the grooves of the road where other cars are. So I'm looking ahead, I'm lifting my foot. I see a bunch of brake lights. I see a vehicle with the flashers on. I can't get over one lane, so whoa, you see that up there? So I'm squeezing my brakes and I'm getting over. You don't know what happened, so you always have to be prepared for emergency things on the road. I'm in the middle lane. I'm keeping good speed control, good spacing. I call it speed, space, and smile. Let's start counting from the sign. 1001, 1002, 1003. I'm about 4 seconds away. There's 4 seconds for every car length or every 10 miles an hour. So I'm decent. It's not perfect, but when you're learning, you want to get as much knowledge as possible. I'm scanning the intersection. The countdown timer's at 8. I'm looked left and right. I'm good. Intersections can be very stressful because if the opportunity is there to get hit is because of intersections. I'm looking over my shoulder. I got over one lane nice and smooth. I accelerate through the lane change. Again, I'm coasting, going downhill. It's raining. If I hit the gas really hard, I'll be at 60 or 70. It's not worth it. Plus, you won't be able to stop in time. Many states or provinces have speed limit laws versus adverse conditions. You must drive at a speed that is safe and reasonable for the road. Also, this spray, this water, is hard to see. As you can tell, I don't have the wipers on, but they're on low. So you have to find the right speed for you. And I'm not going to tailgate. There's a big truck behind me that you can't see, so I'm definitely checking my mirror. They got over to the left, no blinker. And I'm keeping space. You can see that big truck, that Super Duty truck or whatever it is. So you don't want to ride in trucks with the big spray coming because it's hard to see, as you can tell right now. I'm trying to keep my space, stay smooth. As a beginning driver, it's really easy to tailgate. You want to get right on top of cars, back off. Good speed, good space, and a smile. I'm looking ahead. I see cars going back and left and right. So I'm looking for space. So I'm going to make a decision to get over one lane to the left, covering the brake, and I'm nice and smooth. People do not want to be behind big semi trucks, and I don't blame them. So I'm looking. I also see the reflections of the brake lights on the ground. You're getting some definite pro tips. And I want you to hear some of this noise out here. And I'm just taking my time. You want to make sure you can clear the intersection. You don't want to get stuck behind it. So I'm just going to wait a second. Okay, I'm going to roll through. I still have the green. You never want to get stuck in the middle of the intersection. You will get a deduction for that, and it's very scary because you will get hit by other cars because they're programmed to go. The light's yellow. I'm looking ahead. I always tell my students to look ahead. I'm coasting again. I'm at 28. The speed limit here is 50. Doesn't make sense to go really fast. A lot of traffic, rain, people are in a hurry. Sounds like a rear-end collision. So I want to see the rear of the tires on the ground. As you can see, there I go. Rear of the tires on the ground. So that's pretty good. I'm looking, checking my rear view mirror. I like to see my students look around. I will give deductions and points if they're not looking around. You have to have eye movement. You have to look around and be safe. So just because the light turns green doesn't mean go. You have to look. The lights just turned green. I'm gradually picking up. I'm at about 18 miles an hour. Speed limit here is 50. But if I go 50, I'm going to tailgate other vehicles and lose control. And a lot of beginning drivers tend to do this. But notice this driver ahead of us. I would give that driver deduction. The blinker's been on for a very long time. It's confusing me as well as you as a beginning driver. I'm picking up, accelerating, and I'm just taking my time. What are the takeaways today? When there's bad weather, you need to reduce your speed. Beginning drivers tend to either go really, really slow in adverse conditions or too fast for the conditions. Also, you tend to grip the wheel really hard and drift left or drift right. I'm going to drift to the right out of my lane. This is what you will do. Literally, see me going to the right. Also, they tend not to keep space. I'm driving with space. I'm looking for those brake lights, but you can't rely on brake lights. Sometimes drivers don't replace those brake light bulbs, and you're relying on someone to have brake lights and brake, and then next thing you know, you rear end them. If you enjoyed this and you learned something today, subscribe to my channel, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. You will be having more tutorials. I just want to say thank you, and please drive safe.